stop for a moment and listen, because this is not something you were supposed to hear by chance. Out of everything you could be doing right now, your attention was pulled here for a reason, and that reason is more urgent than you realize. There is something shifting around you, something subtle but real, and it has already begun to unfold even if you have not fully noticed it yet. Archangel Michael is bringing this forward as a warning, not to create fear, but to prepare you before something unexpected reaches the surface of your life. You may feel like everything is normal, like nothing has changed, but beneath that surface, there is movement, there is alignment, and there is something approaching that will catch you off guard if you are not paying attention. This is the kind of moment most people overlook because it does not arrive with noise or obvious signs. It comes quietly, almost unnoticed, and that is why it matters. You may have felt small shifts recently, a sense that something is different, without being able to explain why. A thought that lingered longer than usual, or a feeling that something is about to change. Those moments were not random. They were the beginning of this warning, signals placed in your awareness, so you would not be completely unprepared when things start to reveal themselves more clearly. But now, this is no longer just a subtle feeling. This is the moment where you are being directly told to pay attention. Do not dismiss this as overthinking or coincidence, because what is being shown to you now carries purpose. Not everything unexpected is meant to harm you, but not everything arrives gently either. Sometimes, what is coming is meant to shift your direction, to expose something hidden, or to push you out of a place you have remained in for too long. And when that happens, the difference between confusion and clarity comes down to whether you were prepared beforehand. That is why this message matters right now, because what is approaching will make sense later, but only if you allow yourself to become aware in this moment. Stay with this, because what you have not yet seen is already closer than you think. Before this moment, there have already been subtle signs placed in your path, not loud enough to alarm you, but clear enough that a part of you noticed something was different. You may not have called it a warning at the time. You may have dismissed it as stress, overthinking, or just a passing feeling. But if you look back carefully, there were moments where your energy shifted without explanation, where something inside you paused, as if trying to get your attention. Those were not random reactions. They were early signals, quiet nudges meant to prepare you before anything became obvious. Archangel Michael does not always step in at the last moment. Often, the guidance comes earlier, in ways that require you to be aware enough to notice. You may have felt a sense of uneasiness in situations that seemed normal on the surface, or around certain people where nothing appeared wrong, yet something inside you did not fully settle. You might have ignored it because there was no clear reason to question anything. Everything looked fine, everything sounded fine, and so you chose to trust what you could see rather than what you felt. But what you felt was not wrong. It was simply subtle, and subtle things are often the easiest to overlook. This is how warnings begin, not as loud disruptions, but as quiet shifts that only become clear when you look back on them later. There may have also been patterns forming around you, small but consistent. Conversations repeating in different ways, situations circling back when you thought they were resolved, or moments where timing felt just slightly off. These patterns are not coincidences. They are alignment in motion, building towards something that has not yet fully revealed itself. The reason they did not seem important before is because you were not meant to fully understand them yet. Awareness happens in stages, and what once felt insignificant now begins to connect in a way that changes how you see everything. You might even remember times when you felt guided to step back from something, to pause, or to reconsider a decision without knowing exactly why. That hesitation was not hesitation in the negative sense. It was protection. It was a moment where something higher was trying to slow you down just enough so you would not move forward blindly. But like many people, you may have pushed past it, convincing yourself that it was unnecessary to question things that seemed fine. And while that did not cause immediate consequences, it did allow certain situations to continue without your full awareness. Now the difference is that you are being brought into clarity. What once felt like scattered, disconnected moments are beginning to align into something more complete. Archangel Michael is not introducing something new into your life. This warning has been building for some time. What is happening now is that you are finally in a position to recognize it. The signs are no longer as easy to ignore because your awareness has shifted. You are starting to see patterns instead of isolated moments, and that changes everything. There is also a reason why this awareness is coming to you before anything fully unfolds. Preparation changes how you experience what is coming. Without awareness, something unexpected can feel overwhelming, confusing, or even disruptive. But when you are prepared, even slightly, you move through it differently. You observe instead of react. You understand instead of panic. You recognize instead of question everything. That is the purpose of this warning, not to create fear, but to give you clarity before the moment arrives. As you sit with this, you may begin to remember more of those small signs, more of those moments where something felt off, but you could not explain it. Do not dismiss those memories. They are part of the message. They are the pieces that now come together to form a clearer picture of what has been happening around you. And the more you allow yourself to acknowledge them, the easier it becomes to understand what you are being guided to see now. Now you are at the point where the warning begins to take a clearer shape, and this is where your attention becomes even more important. What is approaching is not something that will arrive loudly or announce itself in an obvious way at first. It will come in a way that feels sudden, but in truth, it has been building quietly behind the scenes for some time. This is why you are being prepared now, because when it reaches the surface, it may seem unexpected, but it is not without purpose. Archangel Michael is not showing you every detail in advance, and there is a reason for that. If everything were revealed at once, it could overwhelm you or lead you to react too quickly. Instead, you are being guided step by step, with just enough awareness to recognize what is unfolding without losing your sense of balance. This unexpected shift could take different forms, and that is why it may already feel difficult to define. It could come through a situation that changes direction suddenly, a truth that surfaces when you least expect it, or a realization that alters how you see someone or something in your life. It may not appear dramatic at first, but the impact it carries will be significant because it will shift your understanding in a way that cannot be reversed. What once seemed certain may begin to feel uncertain, and what once felt unclear may suddenly make sense. This is the nature of unexpected moments that carry purpose. They do not just change circumstances, they change perception. You may also notice that when this begins to unfold, there is a moment where everything feels slightly unsettled, as if you are standing in between what you thought you understood and what is now being revealed. That feeling is not something to fear. It is part of the transition. It is the space where old assumptions begin to fall away and new clarity starts to take their place. Many people become uncomfortable in this space because it challenges what they believe to be stable. But you are being prepared so that you do not react from discomfort. Instead, you will recognize that this moment is necessary for something deeper to be revealed. There is also an important truth you must hold on to as this approaches. Not everything unexpected is negative, even if it feels disruptive at first. Sometimes what appears as a disruption is actually a form of protection, a redirection away from something that no longer aligns with you. Archangel Michael is known not only for protection, but for truth. And truth does not always arrive in a way that feels comfortable. It can challenge what you believed, it can expose what was hidden, and it can shift your direction in ways you did not plan. But all of this happens with purpose, not against you, but for you. You might find that certain things begin to reveal themselves more clearly once this shift starts. Behaviors that once went unnoticed may stand out. Patterns that were hidden may become obvious, and decisions that once felt complicated may suddenly feel simple. This is not because the situation has changed instantly, but because your perspective has shifted. You are no longer seeing things from the same place, and that allows you to recognize what was always there, but not fully visible before. It is also possible that this moment will require you to let go of something, not necessarily in a dramatic way, but in a quiet and understanding way. Letting go does not always mean loss. Sometimes it means release, a conscious decision to no longer hold on to something that no longer fits where you are going. This can apply to situations, expectations, or even ways of thinking that kept you in a place of uncertainty. And while that process may feel unfamiliar, it is also where growth begins to take shape. As this unfolds, remember that you are not being caught off guard without support. You are being prepared in advance so that when the moment arrives, you recognize it for what it is. You will not need to search for answers in confusion because the awareness you are building now will guide you. Stay grounded, stay observant, and allow things to reveal themselves without forcing clarity too quickly. Because what is approaching is not just an unexpected moment. It is a turning point, one that will make everything you have been sensing begin to make sense in a way that is both clear and undeniable. Now that you understand something is approaching, this is where your role becomes critical, because awareness without the right response can still lead to confusion. The moment something unexpected begins to unfold, your first instinct may be to react, to question everything at once, or to try to regain control of the situation immediately. But this is exactly where your discipline is being tested. Archangel Michael is not guiding you toward reaction, but toward control, because the way you respond in that moment will determine whether you move through it with clarity or get pulled into unnecessary chaos. You must understand that not every situation requires an immediate answer or action. When something shifts suddenly, there is often a period where things feel unclear, where emotions may rise and your mind may try to make sense of everything all at once. If you allow yourself to be driven by that urgency, you risk making decisions based on incomplete understanding. This is why stillness becomes your greatest strength. It allows you to step back, to observe what is truly happening instead of what it initially appears to be. And in that space, clarity begins to form naturally. There may also be a strong urge to seek reassurance from others, to explain what is happening, or to look for confirmation outside of yourself. But this is where you need to be careful. Not everyone will see what you see, and not everyone will understand what you are experiencing. If you rely too heavily on external opinions, you may begin to doubt your own awareness, even when it is accurate. Archangel Michael is guiding you inward for a reason, because the clarity you need is already forming within you. The more you trust that, the less dependent you become on outside validation. At the same time, this does not mean you isolate yourself or withdraw completely. It means you become more intentional. You choose when to speak, what to share, and who to trust with your thoughts. You begin to move with awareness instead of reacting to every shift around you. This is a level of control that not everyone develops, and it is what allows you to remain steady even when situations become unpredictable. You are not being asked to ignore what is happening. You are being asked to engage with it in a way that keeps you grounded. There will also be moments where your patience is tested, where you feel like you already know enough to act, or where waiting feels uncomfortable. But not all clarity arrives at once. Sometimes it unfolds in layers, and each layer reveals something that helps you understand the bigger picture more accurately. If you move too quickly, you may only be acting on part of the truth rather than the full understanding. This is why timing matters. Acting at the right moment is just as important as knowing what to do. You are also learning to separate emotion from awareness. It is natural to feel something when unexpected situations arise, but those emotions do not always reflect the full reality of what is happening. If you allow emotion to take the lead, it can distort your perception and lead you away from the clarity you have been given. But when you stay grounded, when you allow yourself to feel without letting it control your actions, you maintain a clear perspective. This is where your strength becomes visible, not in avoiding emotion, but in managing it. As things begin to unfold, you will notice that your ability to observe improves. You will see patterns more clearly, understand situations more deeply, and recognize what truly matters without being distracted by surface-level reactions. Archangel Michael is guiding you through this, not just to help you handle one moment, but to strengthen your ability to move through future situations with the same level of clarity and control. This is preparation not just for what is coming now, but for how you will navigate what comes next. So remain steady. Do not rush to conclusions. Do not allow urgency to take over, and do not give away your clarity by reacting too quickly. Let things reveal themselves while you stay grounded in your awareness. Because the way you handle this moment will shape how everything unfolds after it. And right now, you are being guided to respond with a level of control and understanding that will keep you aligned no matter what changes around you. As you move beyond this point, understand that what you are stepping into is not a moment of disruption without purpose, but a transition that has been carefully aligned to bring you into greater clarity and strength. What once felt uncertain will begin to settle, not because everything around you suddenly becomes perfect, but because you are no longer seeing things from the same place. Archangel Michael is not only warning you about what is approaching, but also guiding you through it so that you come out of it with a deeper understanding of yourself, your environment, and the direction you are meant to take next. This is not something happening against you. It's something happening for your growth. Even if it does not feel that way in the beginning, you will start to notice that once the unexpected moment fully unfolds, your perspective shifts in a way that brings clarity where there was once confusion. Situations that once felt complicated will begin to make sense, not all at once, but gradually as you reflect on what has happened and what has been revealed. There is a kind of understanding that only comes after you move through something, and that is the understanding you are stepping into now. You will see connections you did not see before, recognize patterns that were hidden, and understand why certain things had to change. This is where the purpose of the warning becomes clear, because it allowed you to enter this moment with awareness rather than being completely caught off guard. At the same time, there may be a quiet realization that something in your life no longer fits the way it once did. This does not always come with a dramatic ending or a sudden break. Sometimes it is simply a shift in how you feel, a knowing that you cannot return to seeing things the way you used to. This is part of your growth. You are not meant to stay in the same level of awareness once you have been shown something deeper. Archangel Michael is guiding you to move forward with that awareness, to allow it to shape your decisions without forcing you into anything before you are ready. There is also a new level of confidence that begins to develop within you, not loud or obvious, but steady and grounded. It comes from realizing that you were able to handle something unexpected without losing your sense of direction. That realization changes how you approach everything that comes after. You begin to trust yourself more, to rely less on outside validation, and to move with a sense of calm that was not there before. This is one of the most valuable outcomes of this experience because it strengthens you in a way that stays with you long after the moment has passed. Your environment may continue to adjust as a result of this shift. Certain connections may naturally change, not through conflict, but through alignment. You may find that you are drawn toward what feels more genuine and less connected to what feels uncertain or inconsistent. This is not something you need to force. It is something that happens as a result of your awareness growing stronger. When you see clearly, you naturally move differently, and that movement shapes what remains in your life. It is important that you do not look back on this moment with fear or regret. What has unfolded and what is still unfolding is part of a process that is leading you toward a more aligned version of yourself. Every realization, every shift, and every unexpected turn carries something that contributes to your growth. Even if it challenged you, even if it made you question things, it also brought you closer to understanding what truly matters. As you continue forward, carry this awareness with you, not as something heavy, but as something that empowers you. You are no longer moving blindly. You are no longer ignoring what you feel. You are stepping into a way of living where you see more clearly, respond more calmly, and trust yourself more deeply. Archangel Michael has guided you to this point for a reason, and that guidance does not end here. It continues as you move forward, shaping your path in ways you may not fully see yet, but will come to understand over time. Stay grounded in what you have learned. Stay aware of what you feel, and allow your actions to reflect the clarity you now carry. Because this was not just a warning about something unexpected. It was an invitation to grow into a version of yourself that is more aware, more prepared, and more aligned than ever before.